Welcome back, everyone, to the Winning in Life Without Losing Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Peed, with you as always, and I'm so excited to be bringing you a incredible conversation today about creative spaces. But before I do that, I want to remind you, if you could, if you're listening to this, to go ahead and subscribe to it wherever you found it, rate, review, all those types of things help further the life of this content that I'm sharing with you every week. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome to the YouTube channel. I'd also encourage you to like, subscribe, ring the bell. Again, all those things really help further the life of this content. Listen, as almost 20 years as a creative professional, I've learned a lot about creativity. I've learned a lot about working with creative people. I learned a lot of about myself as a creative person. And like most creative people, I believe in the power of spaces. And so today I want to share with you 5 reasons why creative space matters. It may not seem that important, but it is. It is very important. It's been scientifically proven that the space that you work in will determine a lot of the strength of your work. So why don't we put more effort into the space that we create in? Why not make the spaces that we create in our own and make them be a place that we actually want to work in? If you're like me, you can't do fluorescent lighting. It is a killer of creativity. It just automatically gives me a headache, and I can't focus, and it's stale, and I hear the hum of it, and I just can't do it. But I believe that there are 5 reasons, and probably more than these 5 reasons, but these are just the first 5 that I thought of as I was thinking through why these spaces matter so much. But I think there's a good solid 5 reasons of why creative spaces matter so much. The first one is this: your energy. Uh, there's a great book by Kerry Newhoff called At Your Best, where he talks about your energy zones, very much like a stoplight, green, yellow, and red. And you have certain times of the day that your energy is more attuned and alive and effective. But I think more than just the time of day, I think your space that you sit in and work in, whether it be every day or every other day, or however you rotate it around, the space that you sit in, I think, can greatly affect your energy level. It can be draining to sit in a blank, drab, dull space and try to create something unique, right? Your space should give you the energy not just to create, but to thrive, right? You want to feel alive while you're in there, and the creative people that you work with feel the exact same way. So what brings you energy in a space? Is it lighting? Is it artwork? Is it coffee? Is it music? Is it candles? Add any of those things to the boosts that you need. The second reason I think that creative space matters so much is motivation. You have to be a self. We live in an age now where you have to be extremely self motivated. And let's face it, some days it's hard to muster up the courage to create. Your space should motivate you towards your creative goals. Things like vision boards with a clear picture of what done will look like, or a great place to start in your space. Maybe you need words to motivate you. Write those down on your whiteboard, a sticky note on your laptop, or buy one of those cheesy motivational posters that you see in doctor's office where the cat is just barely hanging off the cliff, right? Listen, spaces are so important to me that I've created a great space of my own here in my home. This where I'm sitting at right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see behind me. I've got some artwork and some things that inspire me. Some musicians that I really love. I love concert posters and artwork. Winston Churchill is behind me as well. I love him. And I have some artwork from a friend of mine, Corey Reeves, who's going to be on the show with us later this year, that he painted just for me, a reminder to just make beautiful things from another artist. And so these are things that motivate me to want to create great things. That leads me into my third reason. The third reason or the third reason why inspiration or why creative space matters is inspiration. It's essential to stay fresh in our creativity. I even set aside a time throughout the day. We could talk about this more in a later podcast, but I set aside time every day to be inspired. I'll go look at something, I'll go visit a new place, I'll go take a walk, I'll read a new blog, I'll watch a new video, whatever it is, listen to new music, listen to a new playlist. It's so important for the creative soul to be inspired. It's essential. Inspiration is essential for us to stay fresh in our creativity. So, what inspires you the most to do your best creative work? Is it reading a great article? Like I said, there are many great writers out there that spur us on in their creativity. Some of my favorites: Austin Kleon, who wrote "Steal Like an Artist," Todd Henry, who wrote "The Accidental Creative" and many other books along those lines, and then Anne Lamott, who wrote "Bird by Bird," just to name a few. Is it fashion that spurs you on? Is what you wear, does that spur you on in your inspiration and creativity? All these things contribute to the environment, contribute to the creative space that you work in. I know it helps me when I wear it, makes me feel more confident, but what inspires you? Surround your space with those things. The fourth reason I think creative space matters so much is it's an opportunity for observation. If possible, you need to have a space to be observant. And a window in an office provides more than just the vitamin D that natural light offers. It also gives a chance to stare out and observe a bit of nature. For me, in the space that I'm sitting in today and where I work in most days, I have a natural window just out here to my left, and out here are our farm animals. My wife has chickens and ducks and rabbits, and they're all right there. And I get to kind of look at some of their crazy antics throughout the day. If you follow Austin Kleon, you know that he has an owl family living outside of his window in his office and creative space. And so I know that you need to have a space of observation. Look, if a window isn't possible for you, just take a 5 minute walk outside, or move to a space with lots of windows and just see what it does for your creativity. A fresh perspective goes a long way. The last reason I think creative space matters so much is just humanity. Like, you need to have a certain sense of humanity to bring to the table. Let's face it, as much as people can aggravate us sometimes, they can equally spur us on to greatness just by being around us. It's a reason why a lot of creative agencies will have hub spaces where everybody's working together or individually, but they're still sitting together in the same place. Find people that make you feel like you could run through a brick wall and stick around them while you create. Just go walk into their office and say, I just need to be around you because you spur me on to greater creative endeavors. And I just need to sit here and feed off of that while I do this next task. Also, you can invite them in. You can always create better in groups than in silos. You can also create them into what you're creating. Get even if it's just for editing or for feedback. All of those things go a long, long way. So I just want to leave you with this question: what's one thing that you can do today to your space this week to make it work for you? Maybe you don't even have a space. Maybe you're mobile. What's the place that you need to find that will allow you to sit and get some work in for a few hours a day, that will feed your creativity the most? The space matters. You'll know it when you find it. Just go explore your town. You'll be surprised at all the different types of spaces that are out there. So that is why creative space matters so much. I would encourage you, if you are creative or if you lead creative people, to remember that it may sound hokey, but it does go a long way psychologically in the success of your creativity. So creative spaces matter. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me for this episode of Winning in Life Without Losing Your Mind. I'm super pumped for this new season where I can just share with you openly some thoughts that I have. We are going to bring back the 5 questions, and I'm working on some new guests that are going to be a part of that. It's going to be an exciting season 3 for the podcast. But for this season right now, I'm going to be sharing with you each and every week just some thoughts straight from me to you. And I cannot wait to do that again. I'll talk to you next time on the Winning in Life Without Losing Your Mind podcast.